It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get risque every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Alrighty, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast for Tuesday. I went to the Jelly Roll Post Malone concert on Sunday night at Hard Rock Stadium. And just with doing something like that, it kind of sucks because just with the schedule I have, if I do anything at night, I have to take a vacation day. You can't do anything. If it's going to take more than 3 hours and I'm going to be up past 9 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I gotta take a vacation.
But it was worth it.
Fuck it, take a vacation.
It was, yeah, it was. So. It was a lovely time and worthwhile. So, very good concert. Both of them did, and it was nice. Saw a ton of KVJ Nationers there.
Nice.
Enjoying the show. So, it was good.
Jelly Roll getting all jealous. The Kevin Ralston taking the shine away from his concert.
Yeah. He's doing all right. He's doing all right. In fact, I saw a clip. His wife, he said, was not there, that Bunny.
Oh, yeah. She's hot. She's like a former Playboy model. Mm-hmm. She does a podcast.
What's it called?
Bunny XO.
Yeah.
But they apparently just got their first Lamborghini, and we're having a hard time getting it into gear. There's a video of them together.
Oh.
Yeah, honestly, he's a very likable guy, though, and he makes a big deal of expressing his gratitude. Because Post Malone brings him out. They have a song together called Losers, and he introduces him, and he just showers nothing but praise on Post Malone and his fans, and, saying, hey, from where I was to where I am now, I owe everything to you guys. So he's one of those guys you kind of root for.
I love it.
Yeah.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
If it's genuine, I love it.
Yeah, it seems genuine.
It does
That's
seem
the thing about
genuine.
him.
It really does seem genuine with him. So good for him.
He does seem like he definitely is genuine when he's giving the gratitude. He's
Yeah.
like, I love you, brother.
Yeah,
I love you,
he does.
man.
Yeah, he just seems like a really awesome, down-to-earth dude. Post Malone seems the same way, too. They both seem like they're pretty awesome dudes. But it was called the Big Ass Stadium Tour, and I'm like, I feel like they missed out on that. It should have been the Face Tat Tour, shouldn't it? Because I don't know of any artists that are the same prominence as them. I know there's a few others that have face tats, but at their level, they are rocking the face tat game. I'd say they're probably the best known artists with face tats.
One of my all-time favorite interviews is, you guys know who Charlemagne the God is, the radio guy?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Major player who's, bigger than radio now. He interviewed him, and his first interview, he was being such a dick to Post Malone. And Post Malone had his, I guess, former fiance or girlfriend in the studio. But Post Malone was so chill with the way Charlemagne was coming at him. He was so kind and humble.
Yeah.
And Charlemagne was trying to make him look like a clown, and he was him being all cool made Posty look very, 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 very cool.
Yeah, I think it's genuine. I think that's just the way he is. He doesn't bring any aggressive energy, and he's not negative to anybody. And, honestly, with the way the world is today, isn't it just refreshing to see somebody that just doesn't try to come at you and just be a...
I think you said it last week. The world needs a little bit of, like a warm hug kind of content.
They do. Yeah, they do. I think people are, I don't know. I know I have. I don't like the fighting. I'm tired. I've never liked it, but I think a lot of people have just... The nasty energy. I think a lot of people have hit their limit. So it's nice to see people that are coming at you with gratitude and positivity are very chill.
People like Jelly Roll and Post Malone deserve the success.
Yes, I would agree.
Because they are genuine and sweet.
Right. Absolutely.
You cheer for them.
Yeah, you do. You do. It's nice to see somebody their whole purpose is to not be contentious.
And then there's some dick faces out there. You go, how are they still making money as a celebrity? that are out there.
Yeah. Well, look, being negative and tearing people down, it gets clicks, and we're still in that kind of system where it rewards people who are that way. And it'd be nice to see them fix the system But, we're humans, and I think we probably are gravitated towards that nasty clickbait kind of, if somebody's going after somebody or has got something terrible to say about somebody, like, well, that's interesting. Let me hear what they got to say.
I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
I hit play.
Yeah. It makes us wonder. Then somebody who's just saying nice things about people. Like, yeah, all right.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind that either, though. If I saw people would that get old?
I don't know, but that's why what I got out of Post Malone and Jelly Roll, being a fan at that show and seeing both of them, it was just nice to be in that atmosphere. And that was the energy. It was positive. It was like we're enjoying music, and it was pretty sweet to be there.
That's nice to hear.
I do hear more and more that people are trying to take a little bit of a break. There was even a story today, but it's rehashing what you've already heard about how harmful social media is to kids. And with the more screen time, they find other things going on with the kids. They just don't do as well at school. Their attitudes aren't great. The more time you spend on social media, the worse off you are. And I think the people who have said, what am I doing? I think the sensible people have started to make a little bit of a break. Some of us, like me, who are not yet sensible, still are knee deep in it. It does take a hit on your, mental health.
Well, we're in a weird situation because we can't put our head in the sand and not know what, KVJ Nation is saying. But you also, you're going to get some shit thrown at you as well.
Yeah,
and,
that's it.
you just, it is what it is.
Yeah, I honestly, if I didn't have this job, I probably would not be on social media at all.
I would probably
I wouldn't
agree.
have an account. I wouldn't post anything. I wouldn't probably read much.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, news is about all I'm there for anyway. I'm not there for the fighting. Now, it was kind of interesting because the Queen, we'd had a pretty good experience. We had gone to the Miami Open a couple years ago. We took Brightline to Aventura, and then there was a shuttle that took us over there and then back, and that was pretty convenient. We liked it. So we did it for this concert. There was no shuttle, and that makes a world of difference. So you have to then Uber over there from Aventura, and it's still not bad. It's 15 minutes, whatever, to get to Hard Rock Stadium. But the issue is when you leave and there's no shuttle.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Yep.
Leaving.
Right.
Anywhere you go that's super popular, if you have to rely on a ride share to leave, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, Jonathan, he'll break down, I'll get to in a second. He went for Shakira, which, man, her show was packed, at least on Friday night.
She did put on a great show, it looked like, too.
And he said, Uber at Hard Rock Stadium is a crime against humanity, and they need to fix it. Anyone going to a show there in the future, if you think parking costs too much money, just pay it. It's better than the alternative. And somebody texted, I think they said it was 50 or 60. I didn't even price out the parking, but I think that's what they said. It cost us, I think, $85 or $90 to Uber from the stadium back to the Brightline. And then that's on top of me having to, I tried the Uber, which was going to be $45, and I went for the cheapest Uber they had. And then I think I was getting scammed. You ever had that where you got an Uber driver who's like, I can't find you? And
yes.
It's like, yeah. And then he wouldn't cancel the ride. I'm like, all right, well, since you can't find us, clearly. He's like, no, you cancel the ride. I'm like, my wife's like, no, you don't cancel because you're going to have to pay $15 for nothing. Have him cancel the ride. I'm like, hey, will you cancel the ride? And then I saw he was driving to the Brightline station without us in it.
So he picked somebody else up?
Yeah, and I'm like, I guess we're paying for somebody else's ride.
He probably was driving there and he charged somebody else cash.
Maybe.
And he got a cash ride and took that instead of you.
Yeah, so we got that in contention, and my wife's dealing with that, but it's just a pain in the ass. I did not like the experience. So Jonathan is right.
What a real come down from the music.
It was tough to walk into that because I was riding high after the concert. Like, gosh, this is so annoying. But he's dead on. I said I'm not going to do that again. So maybe if they had a shuttle and I knew that, I would go. But then you got to wait for your train because it's not exactly on time. And Jonathan said, I was one of the ticket winners for Shakira, and I just want to give you all a report. The gates opened at 6. We got dropped off, breezed through security. We're in our seats by 6:30. Yeah, they were pretty efficient on that. You can pretty much walk right in. It's not a big hassle, so I thought they did a good job of that. Show was listed to start at 7:30. About 8, roughly a 20-minute package of Shakira music and videos played, and I thought, okay, this must be the start of the show. Then nothing happened, and nothing kept happening until 9:21 when Shakira finally came out almost 2 hours after the show listed it would start.
Whoa.
She then melded together her songs and pounded through music. At one point, she played 3 songs in under 10 minutes with a couple minutes dedicated to an intro dance. Her entire 22-song set with tiny videos in between for costume changes lasted about 90 minutes, shorter than her delayed start. There was no opener. There was no explanation for the delay. It was just, I live in Port St. Lucie. I got a hotel room for this show, and I haven't been to hundreds of concerts in my life, and I get that they don't always start on time, but a 2-hour delay for a 90-minute set is ridiculous.
What if she had poopy cramps? I'm just throwing that out there. Shakira.
Yeah, she shook it loose.
Shook that. Yeah, I mean, that's a viable excuse.
Shits don't lie.
Shits don't lie.
That's it.
But imagine being Shakira and you really have poopy cramps and you know you have a full house that you have to go out and dance and your stomach is in agony. I'm not saying
tough.
that's what happened,
Yeah,
but
that would be tough.
You probably got to be really careful about what you eat. You cannot mess around.
I bet you if artists were honest, I bet there's so many shit stories of them on stage. I think Kelly Clarkson even talked about pooping in a bucket at one show.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I wonder that too, because in Post Malone's show, he had a beer guy. I can't remember his name. It was Pete or something like that, and he'd be like, "Pete, need a beer?" And this guy that was his job, to bring him an ice cool beer. And I think he went through at least 6, maybe.
Okay.
6 or so beers, but he didn't leave to piss. And I'm like, I guess he's sweating it out. But I was just wondering, I'm like, what's he doing? Either that or he just pisses his pants. I don't know.
He never left?
No, he was on stage the entire time. It wasn't one of those things where they did, a musical little number and you get a second. I mean, he was front and center on that stage the entire show that I saw. I mean, when he was doing Sunflower, I'd heard that was the last song. He had Sway Lee, actually, who I think lives in Miami because he's always at the nightclubs there. Came out and actually sang Sunflower. And that's when I'm like,
wow,
okay, let's get out.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was neat.
That's very cool.
Maybe he went from Post Malone to Piss Malone and he just pissed on his leg and kept it moving.
He might have been. I don't know. Maybe he's just pissing down his legs. He had jeans on, so I don't know.
I think you could.
I think you'd be able to spot a piss leg.
I don't know. I mean, but it's Florida. It's hot. Or is that an indoor show?
What's that?
The Post Malone. Was it indoor?
Oh, Hard Rock Stadium. No, it's out. That's outdoor.
Okay, got ya.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Never been to? Yeah, you have, haven't you?
Where the Dolphins play?
Yeah, I guess I have.
Yeah, we were all there one time together in a Jeep.
You were there with us.
Yeah.
I know. Duh. Miami, duh. Of course I remember. Yes, I love that place.
You hated it. It's so big.
You guys remember.
Yeah. I was like, I think, I've been there. Yeah.
I fucking love that place.
Yeah. See, that's just some things to learn. Somebody's like, yeah, that's why I never go to concerts. Look, I'm selective on them, and I do enjoy it. It was fun. I had a really good time. I think hopefully going to go to Morgan Wallen coming up, and I hear they do have a shuttle for that show.
I'd imagine he has openers for him, right? Country typically has 1 or 2 people playing.
Post Malone and Jelly Roll, they even had 2 openers on top of it. Yeah, and then one of the openers, there's so many really talented people out there. You just wonder. They were both solid themselves. I mean, it was just they sounded great. They played awesome. It's just a matter of having the hits, I guess.
It is. There's just so much content out there, man.
I know. Yeah, I was like, thank God I'm not trying to. I couldn't even imagine with all the competition that's out there.
What do you see if Kevin was to learn an instrument? What would he play?
Skin flute.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that was a joke.
I was like, yeah, I'd be good at that.
I could see Kevin on a trumpet. He's got like trumpet lips.
I kind of feel like you got bass vibes. I think you're a bass player. You don't even know it. You put that ass in that bass.
Oh, okay, the ass and bass.
But I can see you grooving on the bass guitar.
If I got to pick it, I'd be drummer.
Oh man, drums are fun.
Rocco is drumming again. He was drumming yesterday.
Good.
He wants a drum set. I was like, I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
Well, you can get drums that he can plug in electronically, so you don't have to hear it, and you can still practice.
I'll get that. Not the full drum kit.
It's not going to be cheap. No. I'll send you a link. There's some good deals out there.
Got an email from Mindy. She said, you guys were talking about the show Adolescence. One thing you should know beyond the fact that it is very profound and a realistic commentary on what kids and young boys deal with today in school and social media, but it's 4 episodes and each one is done in one continuous shot. No edits, no cuts, nothing. The whole thing is in real time with one camera, which is amazing.
That's what they did with one of the big episode of Succession. They did a one shot on the boat. I don't want to give any spoilers up, but it was one take. They all had to nail it, and it's one of my favorite parts of the entire series.
That's kind of unique.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah. They said, I wish I'd known before I'd watch because at times the show felt a little slow, but then you realize, okay, well, you're kind of living the day with these characters, and it makes it a different experience. Masterful acting, a must-see. If I remember right, it is a show about, I think, a murder, and it's Did the Kid Do It? And I think it's Brad Pitt's production company that did it, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's from last week, and lots happened.
I'll tell you,
that's what I'm remembering correctly.
I know someone who's not watching that movie. Angelina Jolie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Definitely not.
And Laura said, hey, Kev, I think somebody recommended Mobland to you, if I remember correctly. And if so, don't do it. There's no season 2 in production yet, and there's no clue if there will be, and season 1 leaves you hanging bad. Save it until you know if there's going to be a season 2. That is good to know because, yeah, that sometimes does happen where that happened with a show that I was watching. It was based on Bitcoin out of Miami. And so I kind of liked it. I'm like, well, let me see what this is all about. It was a good show. And they have one of those seasons, maybe season 2 or 3 even. And a huge storyline thing happened with a death and like, what's going to happen now? And then the show ended. And they didn't resolve what they did with this dead body or anything. I'm like, well, you can't end a show like that. And sure enough, it just didn't get picked up. And so you're just left with, all right, you know, you watch 3 seasons and then there's no payoff.
The one that gave me the biggest set of blue balls was Mindhunter or Mindhunters. I'm not sure if it's Mindhunter or Mindhunters. It's such a good show about real serial killers. And they did 2 seasons and done. It ended on a cliffhanger. There was so much to get to. They would open every episode with this weird guy, and you realize it's the BTK.
Okay.
They show a quick little thing, and that's all he's in every intro, and that's all you ever see. You're like, all right, how are we gonna see how this plays out?
Yeah.
And done.
Well, it's insane. Imagine if you went to a movie and it ended 3/4 of the way through. In a weird place where you're like, and then they're like, okay, and the lights come up and you're like, what the hell was that?
You need to have like an ending. You need to close the circle.
It should be a crime. There should be some kind of law that you cannot end a series. In fact, to me, you got to write it out and be like, okay, we know that we have to stop here. That's all we have the funding for. That's all that we've been licensed to do. We hope we get picked up and do more. And if we do, then we'll come up with a storyline that'll provide something else. But to me, you shouldn't even start making a show until you get to whatever that point is where you can stop it and it could end and you'd be satisfied with it.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do it. It's got to be some kind of crime. If I ever run for president, I'm going to take on the important issues. Things like this.
Get my vote.
Okay. On Goofy, I would probably wind up winning. I would have the most bizarre platform. People are like, yeah, you know what? I hate that when I watch a show. And I'd be like, I'm going to go and I'm going to write an executive order. Can't do it.
You must wrap it up.
And then I'd wind up winning. I'd be like, wait, I'm president?
That's how it ends.
I was kidding.
If you're president, can me and Jay Bird be in your cabinet?
You do not.
Might as well.
Scandals.
At this point.
Scandals galore.
Fuck it, who cares?
Scandals work today.
Yeah.
I'm in.
It's the politics I grew up on. It's flipped. It's on its head now. It's completely different. Mark said, I just finished binge watching season 3 of White Lotus. HBO is free this week with your old advertiser Infinity Comcast. Okay. I personally love season 3. It brought back characters introduced in season 1. The scenes of Thailand were beautiful and exotic. No, I don't want to travel there, but I can still appreciate it. I was kind of nervous about the brothers kissing that you'd mentioned a few times. Patrick Schwarzenegger was interesting. I could see some Kennedy traits in the influence of his dad, Arnold. It suited his douchey character. The kiss, the brothers are high and playing Kiss or Dare. During a threesome, the younger brother, the pleaser of the family, jerked his brother off while banging the girl. The scene actually fully illuminated the family dynamics. Yeah, I think that was the one where I just, I'd read that brothers are tossing each other off, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. The brothers' family are actually too close. Lack of boundaries and self-worth, so everybody's stuff overlaps everyone else's. Season 3 focused on my favorite things, spirituality and sexuality, death, and what it means to really live, seen through the eyes of different viewpoints. The setting speeds things up in the individual characters. Sedona, Arizona is like that. I've been there 5 times already, and something always shifts in my life after each visit. Because in the end, everything is just trappings on how we feel about and express ourselves, the outer world, or how we see it is just a reflection of our inner reality. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that, Mark.
People love that show.
Yeah, they do. And I might, get into it. We'll see. Like I said, I do admit the brothers tossing each other off. I'm not so much into incestual storylines. Just personal little thing for me. I know some people love it. I grew up seeing too much of it. Yeah, I know. Where I'm from, that's a common thing. When I drove out, I'm like, I'm never going to watch anything with incest again.
All right, old man.
Right?
I said that as a young man.
No, you're right.
And Karen said, Friday in your after the show, you were talking about a serial killer, and one of the questions Virginia asked was, why didn't that person kill you? And I can tell you a story that my boss told me. One of his longtime friends from Pennsylvania, his name is Andy, many years ago, was driving on the highway in Florida, and he stopped at a truck stop to get a drink. And while he was there, a woman had asked him for a ride. He said, yeah, sure. And she got in, he gave her a ride, and then they chatted a little bit. And then at one point, her purse fell over. And he noticed that she had a gun in the purse, so he was concerned, but thankfully nothing happened. They were approaching another truck stop, and she said that she wanted to get out there, and he said, okay. Pulled in, she thanked him for the ride and left. He didn't know who she was, and then a couple months later, she got caught for murder. He saw on the news her name was Eileen Warnos.
Oh, that's monster.
Shit.
That's crazy.
She was the serial killer who killed a bunch of men from truck stops on Florida highways. Then on one of the interviews she had done after she was caught, she mentioned that one time there was this one guy that gave her a ride, and she chose not to kill him because he didn't hit on her. And he was the only guy who did not hit on her or try to rape her. So obviously he assumed she was talking about him, and maybe she was. I can tell you, I know this guy, Andy, and he truly is one of the nicest guys. He's a country boy, nice, sweet. So being kind and not hitting on her may have saved his life if that was truly him.
Wow.
Same thing with Ed Kemper. He picked up, he wanted to see if he could kill still. We're talking 13, 14 victims at this point, and he dropped off 2.
See if he still had it in him?
I think he dropped off 2 girls. They were hitchhiking or whatever, and he drove to the gas station and let them out, and that's when I think he turned himself in.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was big. Serial killers are already horrifying, but if you are a 6'9" serial killer,
That's like,
holy fuck.
You can't even fight that guy.
No.
Well, that's the Gilgo Beach guy,
Yeah.
that Rex Hewerman.
Yeah.
He is a big motherfucker too.
And a lot of these guys, a lot of them are not big dudes. And when you hear something like that guy you're talking about he's big.
He's big and he's scary. You know how they got him? They were surveilling his daughter because they thought it was him, and she was drinking an energy drink on the Long Island Railroad. She threw it away, and they grabbed the drink and they swabbed the DNA, and that's how they figured out that it was her dad.
Oh, wow,
that was
really?
doing all these murders.
That happens a lot. The murder shows that I'll watch, they will have police officers or somebody on the inside waiting for them to drink something and go get it and put it in the bag, get that DNA.
DNA, because they already kind of were like, oh man, we think we got this guy. We think we know he's around somewhere. And that's how they did it. It's just, you never know, like, who's surveilling you.
Well, if you have all the evidence and then you have the DNA on top of that,
Right.
it's a slam dunk.
Yeah, they had the daughter and the wife on this morning. They had done interviews with them, and she had said she didn't know if her dad had done it or not. She did say that she did find it odd. He had missed several family vacations, which I don't know if it's a family vacation, if it's just you and your mom, and your dad decides to stay back behind.
He would say it was all about work and that he was working so hard and his work was so stressful. And But, yeah, I think when they were away on vacation was when he killed.
Yeah, I think that was it. And the wife still kind of stands by him, says that he is her hero, and she divorced him, but I guess it was just to try to save their marital assets.
Right. It was a financial divorce.
Yeah.
It was more about the house than it was about her not believing in his innocence. I think the daughter and the mom are both saying that they believe in his innocence, but they're like struggling.
It just goes to show you, too, like how well somebody might be able to hide up those kind of tendencies. You know, when they put forward a face that you would never imagine they could do something so heinous.
There's a brand new Peacock special out about them today called The Gilgo Beach Killer.
That's probably
House
what they were
of
promoting.
Secrets.
Yeah, I think that's because I think it was NBC I saw doing that.
Yeah. It's out today.
Okay.
That's straight up BTK. BTK, I mean, he was a dick, and if you look back, you go, oh, this makes sense. But people, they didn't know his family had no idea he was a serial killer.
Well, they think the Gilgo Beach guy had a kill room in his house, in the basement, a locked room where I guess he kept all his guns. They're thinking that may have been a kill room.
Do you believe that they didn't know then?
I don't believe they knew. I mean, just from seeing what they've said in interviews, I don't think they knew.
Yeah.
I mean, if Panda had a kill room, you wouldn't sniff that out eventually? You're pretty nosy.
I would, because, yeah, I'm nosy AF, and nobody's getting away with shit under my roof.
Right, yeah.
Because I am a little bit more assertive than apparently his wife was. I think his wife was scared of him and didn't question him, and basically he was the breadwinner and she was the quiet house mouse, and that's it.
But, and I get all that, but do you still not know what's going on?
Great question.
Because you are scared and you know you're living with a monster.
I don't know. I mean, to insinuate that she knew that he was killing people in the basement?
No, I'm just asking. I mean, when you say there's a kill room at someone's house,
Yeah.
eventually
That's what they're saying in the documentary.
I feel like anybody is going to stumble upon that. No?
Well, if you just think it's a gun closet,
True.
then you may not think it's anything more than that.
And he did keep all his guns and everything in there.
Yeah, and it took a while to catch him. So that means he was really...
Careful.
Yeah, all right. You're right. Kill room. I get it.
Yeah, you just you never know with that mental health stuff too. You've probably seen that guy that is on the lam that had smothered his 3 daughters in Washington State, and they wisely are bringing in the feds, which they need to. This guy has been trained in the military, survival, and he is very good with weapons and all those kind of things. And they said he was likely suffering from PTSD, which would explain it. And I was like, I don't know if you want to put local cops up against that.
No.
Yeah,
You need somebody that really knows their stuff, because you've got a guy that he is in his terrain, and he is I mean, if he's going to smother his own daughters, do you think he's going to spare anybody that comes to try to hunt him down?
Nope.
No, and I'm not sure how it works, but there is something where the feds have to get involved, and I'm not sure exactly the rules of it. But there's a
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either, but I would have been the local law enforcement to be, can we get a Fed in here? 'Cause my guys are not built for this.
No.
Like, you would have need to go through years of military training. I don't want to put them up against this guy.
Well,
and they're walking into it's like a home game for him. He knows what he's doing out there.
I mean, towns and cities have murders, of course, but when it's something like that,
Yeah.
I'm not sure
We're not
people
built
are
for this.
prepared
You
for
need
that.
you need to be focused on that kind of stuff and doing that kind of hunting because hunting a human is different than anything else, and that's basically what they're going to be doing out there.
Well, he's got nothing to lose at this point.
Nothing to lose.
That's like a person with a beat up car. Or when I had my old station wagon, I had all of them dents in it. People are scared of me because they go, "This motherfucker, I got nothing to lose on the road."
Yeah, he is probably just sitting there. He knows they're coming for him, and he's like, "Bring it, baby.
Yeah,
I'm ready. Walk on in."
Death by cop is probably what he wants.
Or he may not even think he's going out.
Yeah.
Maybe good luck. Bring in everything you can. He's a young. He looks like he's very fit too.
That's what the Golden State Killer was. They said he was extremely athletic and built and just Not to say it, but he was like made for murder. He just he was. They didn't catch him until he was all old and feeble.
Well, there are some people, like I saw the BTK guy, and it's like, all right, if I'm in a room with him, I got to work my way. I'm like, all right. Yeah.
If he has a gun on me, I get it. He's got the drop on me. But if he's one-on-one.
This guy in Washington State, like, nah, can I get some backup? I don't think I want to tangle with this guy. No. Yeah. Let me see a couple other just random comments here. Engineer Key said, I think the #1 spot on the worst of the week should be called a snickerdoodle. Okay.
The snickerdoodle.
Oh, I'm going to be taking that one in the face for quite a long time. Well, I didn't need to say it like that. I meant, I don't know what I meant.
Who's going to be giving it to you where you take it on the face?
Yeah.
I guess.
Denny's or Kevin?
I think it's Engineer Keith.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I'm sorry.
Somebody will make that an AI cartoon.
Totally. Probably Engineer Keith.
Yeah.
He's good.
Anybody could do it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm taking it right in the face. Drew and Jupiter's got a little bit of a joke here. What do you call a dinosaur with a strap on? Anybody?
I don't know.
You call it a Pegasaurus.
Oh, Pegasaurus.
Yeah.
Very good.
We love peg jokes around here.
And Dan the Pizzle just said how much he loved the chicken laying sound effect that Denny's had put into Denny's or Animal the other day. The boop, 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 boop.
Oh, that was good.
That was good.
Mm-hmm. Some good stuff.
Those clips are layered.
I do love that bit.
I do too.
I mean, because it's fucking goofy.
It's great.
I love it.
And it's fun when you get a cute kid.
Yes.
It's playing as well. They get all excited. They're like, oh my, they're like, they can't believe how easy the game is.
There was one time Denny's really did trick me. I'm like, yeah, no, that's a real sheep. And I'm like, oh shit, that's Denny's?
It was Denny's?
Yeah. If you did miss that, we're doing that after 9 a.m. this week, and we're going to move the time around every single day because I know kids wake up at different times. They have different schedules, and so I didn't want to make it 7 o'clock all the time. So we'll each week move it to a different hour. But 9 o'clock this week, so if you want to try to score those tickets for your kid, you can on the regular show. Thank you for all the emails. Mail at kvjshow.com. Enjoy your Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.